Roblox BedWars has recently got the biggest PvP rework in the game's history, changing the knockback, timing. It's become a whole new game. So today, I found 17 of the best tips and tricks that only the greatest of players know. These skills are so important that I can guarantee if you watch this video through to the end, you'll become better than most players. Do you ever find yourself low, running for your life, and it truly seems like there's no escape? Well, there's a last resort option that will guarantee you escape any fight, and that's by understanding the hidden map features. There's so many secret jumps and paths throughout the map that most players usually don't know about. By understanding how the maps work and practicing how to parkour and slip through them, you'll be able to escape any fight. But the next tip is way more important: tools. There are so many tools that you can use to help you in Roblox BedWars. Things such as FPS unlockers, custom cursors, and so many more will hugely benefit you in game and are very important to have. I'd also recommend you get an auto clicker for two reasons. Number one, you can quickly buy items, and the second reason being if you end up playing against someone who auto clicks. But the next trick is actually super easy. Literally anyone can do it, and that would be FOV. If this isn't maxed, you're doing things wrong. Your FOV should always be maxed out at 100 because this will allow you to see way further out, giving you a huge advantage. And trust me, it's well worth it. The tips to come will only get more and more useful as the video goes on, with number one being by far the most important, so you don't want to miss it. As we all know, the knockback got a huge buff, and I get it, nobody likes it. But what if I told you that there is a way to never fall into the void? Look at this clip. Can you tell what he's doing wrong? Our player is way too close to the void, a huge mistake that many players make. I've created this diagram which shows just about how far you should be from the void. You need to always make sure that you stay out of this red zone. If you go on these lines, you allow yourself to be easily comboed into the void. This is something you should learn as it will almost entirely prevent you from falling into the void. Kits. And yes, I know it's pay to win, but they are one of the most important things to becoming a skilled player. Think of kits as a playstyle. You can be good at a game, but you also have to be good at using the kit, from timing your UZ dash to cycling across the entire map with Pirate Davy. If you can master a kit's abilities, you'll become a much better player. And trust me, it's well worth it. With the new knockback change, bridge fights have become practically impossible. But what if I told you that there is a way to never fall into the void during a bridge fight? First, never move to where your opponent can hit you off. Always be facing towards the bridge. So if your enemy hits you, you'll fly backwards onto the bridge. But more importantly, try to always run at your opponent. By doing this, you will negate most of the knockback and you should be able to easily combo your opponent into the void. But that's nothing in comparison to the tips to come in this video, which most players don't know about, so you don't want to miss it. Do you jump in PvP? Well, if you do, stop. Jumping is one of the worst things you can do for two reasons. Jumping will make you take much more knockback, which can easily kill you, and the biggest reason being that it just doesn't work. I did a series of tests which proves that there isn't really a difference when you jump, but the next trick is even more important than anything else before, and that would be aim. Not bow aim, but cursor aim. In other words, you always want to have your finger or cursor touching your opponent in the PvP fight. Now I know it sounds weird, but by doing this, you will get up to an extra 2 blocks of reach, and will easily allow you to hit your opponent at a faster rate. Ping, the biggest advantage you can have in a game, also known as the server location in the corner of your screen. Now I know what you might be thinking. What can you do about ping? Well, there are actually a few things you can do to use ping to its fullest advantage. If you play on a computer, get an Ethernet cable. This will heavily improve your gameplay, and it's just a generally good thing to have. But more importantly, you have to understand which servers are best for you, and how you can change how you play to fit the server. If you can do this, I can assure that you will become a much better player. The skills to come in this video are insane, with very few people knowing about them. If you want to subscribe, it would be a huge help, but only if you think I've earned it. There is a skill that is so underlooked, yet it's very important: healing. In a standard game, a player will heal immediately after taking damage, until full HP. But in BedWars, a player will have to wait 10 seconds without taking any damage, before finally beginning to heal. This means if you hit a player once every 9 seconds, they will never be able to heal. This is something you have to understand, as it's one of the most important things in the game. Watch how you can use this trick to win any fight. In this fight, I'm put at a huge disadvantage because I only have iron armor, but by building up, I can avoid the damage and consistently shoot my opponent, which is able to fully stop his healing while I can heal myself. By abusing this trick, you can heal while your opponent doesn't, and ultimately win any fight. But the next skill is so important, and it's one of the key things to becoming a good player. Resource management, also known as the ability to get the best gear as fast as possible. The main thing being the 2-minute rule. Get iron armor within 2 minutes of the game. If you do this, you will have a way higher chance of winning. Most players will usually buy stone swords and blocks after dying. This is something you do not want to do. If you can quickly take out the other base and save all the iron from both generators, you'll be able to easily get iron armor within 2 minutes. Roblox BedWars is a skill-based game, but it's also heavily based on game sense. It's very important to think about who you choose to fight and what resources they might have. Taking a fight a lot of the time isn't the best option. Let's say I was a player who went from base to base, breaking all the beds and killing all the players, while my opponent is quietly taking emeralds and diamonds. I would be put at a huge disadvantage because my opponent could have a crossbow or a diamond sword. While killing other players is good, most players will focus too much on that and miss out on key resources, ultimately losing the game. The skills to come are very important and are key to becoming a pro player, so trust me, you don't want to miss it. Momentum. Momentum is what allows players to get combos in a PvP fight. Or in other words, it's basically how fast you're moving towards your enemy. This is why you see players build up and jump down, but the best way to get momentum is just by simply running towards them. This is actually very underlooked, yet it's super important. If you're not moving much, I can guarantee you'll lose any fight. I get this question almost every day. What is the best PvP method? And the real answer is, there is no best PvP method. As long as you're clicking at a consistent timing, you're free to do whatever you want, and it will be equally as good. But really at the moment, one-tap method is slightly better than anything else, but this is changing almost every week. But there is a game mode that will make you a much better player way faster, solos. And I know it's sweaty, but solos is really the best game mode to becoming a pro player because it's a mostly skill-based game mode. It tests PvP ability, resource management, and so much more. But the last tip is by far the most important, and it's actually where you're watching this video, YouTube videos. If you want to become a better player, it's very important to watch how skillful players win matches and implement their abilities in your own gameplay. We just discovered 17 of the greatest Roblox BedWars tips and tricks. If you want to help out a small creator, feel free to subscribe, but I'm not here to force you. Thank you for watching.